always quote this story of a true incident that happened in Russia in the 70s before communism fell. 7 pastors were arrested and brutally tortured in Russia to renounce their faith, but they did not. They remained rock solid. So the captain of that prison cell was sick and tired of these pastors. No matter how much they were badly tortured, they would not recant. So he decided to finish them off. That's the last resort, So he stripped them naked and made them march in the Siberian desert. But how many of you know that the coldest place on planet Earth is Siberia? So it was in the peak of the winter. They were stripped naked and they were made to march for miles in Siberia. Whereas the captain and the soldiers were all wearing so many layers of feathered clothes that they looked worse than a penguin. And the pastors were shivering in the cold and they were turning blue. And after walking for several miles, they came to a clearing in the forest where there was a large lake. So the 7 pastors were told to go and stand at waist level in the lake. You know how terrible the water will be? Can you imagine how cold the waters would have been in the winter? And that too in the coldest place on planet Earth. I tell you, you cannot imagine at all. You can never imagine. And the pastors stood waist deep in the waters. And they were starting to turn blue. And the captain had 7 sets of clothes put on the land before the pastors. And he made a warm fire, campfire, and bottles of whiskey and vodka all besides those 7 clothes. And he himself sat on a chair and smoking his cigar and with a cup of vodka in one hand. And every now and then he will call out to the pastors, "You fools! Why do you want to die like that? Come out of the water. Put on these clothes. Don't you love your life? All you have to do is say, I renounce Jesus Christ." None of the pastors were moved by that. And the soldiers could see them turning blue. All over their body it was rising up. And then they were just moving, shaking. They were about to die. Just at that time, the captain's spiritual eyes were open and he was shocked to see 7 angels come down from heaven with crowns in their hand. And each angel stood above each pastor. And this captain, Russian communist captain, was shocked to see that. And just as the pastor was about to drop into the water, the angel will put the crown on their head. And the timing was so perfect, As soon as the crown touches their head, they'll drop dead. One by one, by one, by one, all 6 pastors dropped dead into the water. And this captain was shocked at what he was seeing. No other could see what he was seeing. And then the 7th angel seemed strange because that angel would go up and then come down. Go up and come down. And this captain wondered, why is it that the 7th angel appeared like playing yo-yo? Have you seen yo-yo? All right. It goes up and comes down. Goes up and comes down. He wondered what's wrong. Because all these 6 angels never behave like that. Then later on, the captain found out what was the problem. That 7th pastor thought in his heart, shall I renounce? or shall I not renounce? Each time when he thought, shall I renounce? The angel went up. And each time he said, no, I will not renounce, he came down. So this went up and down for a few minutes until the pastor shouted at the top of his voice, I renounce Jesus Christ. I don't believe him anymore, and I believe that communism is truth. And he came out of the water, quickly put on those warm clothes and sat beside the fire and began to drink the vodka to keep himself warm. And the communist captain saw all that, and the angel was rising up to go to heaven. And you know what the captain did? He removed all his clothes. He ran straight to the very spot where the seventh pastor stood, and he said, I believe that Jesus Christ is the true living God. And he took the place of the seventh pastor, and he received the victor's crown. But look at the pastor. So near, gone. So near. And not only in the ancient times, even recently, a few years ago, when the ISIS were ramping all over the Middle East, an incident happened where about 7 or 10 Ethiopian Christians were arrested. And they were made, have you seen that in YouTube? They were made to stand on the beach. They were all dressed in orange. And these ISIS terrorists demanded that they renounce or they be beheaded. And none of the Christians, they're not pastors, they were just Christians, refused to renounce except one guy. He said, no, I renounce Jesus Christ. And he came out of the line, and the captain of the terrorists said, oh, well done, well done. Only you are so wise. Look at all the foolish Christians. And one by one, they were beheaded. So this guy, this ex-Christian, he was commended by the captain of the terrorists. And then the captain of the terrorists put his arm around him and told him, if you can betray your God, it won't take very long for you to betray my God, and killed him. But you know what's the difference now? He went to hell, right? He didn't get the victor's crown because he denied the Lord Jesus Christ. See, that's what the devil does to you, you know. He will eventually kill you. Look what happened to Judas Iscariot. Right? Same thing. He renounced the messiahship of the Lord Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. The devil used him. And then what did the devil rewarded him in the end? He hanged himself and he died. Does it pay? No. So, till the last breath in your nostrils, hold your faith. Hold your faith. Even if knives are put on your neck, or the Antichrist government soldiers are strangling your daughter's neck, and you as a mother or father see, or your grandparents, you have children, grandchildren? How many?
3 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren.
How many?
We got 6 altogether, 4 grandchildren.
And what is the youngest? How old is the youngest? How old is the youngest?
8 months old.
8 months.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice. Do you love them?
Oh, yes.
What would you do if you see them being strangled right before your eyes? I know you cannot answer, right? You are being honest and truthful. Right? I don't think you can answer that question.
Right.
You are being honest. Whether it's your children or your grandchildren. When they are strangling, What will you do? Maybe you can say, maybe both of you can say, oh, we will stand strong now. But when the rubber hits the boat, in that situation, when your eyes literally see your grandchildren, 8-month-old grandchildren, or they've been dashed on the wall. This has happened, This has happened in history. And there's a prophecy in the book of Amos that says it will happen again in the last days. Woman's stomach will be ripped apart, pregnant woman, ripped apart, and babies taken out and dash on the wall, stamp on their feet, and crush their heads to pieces. What if you see your children like that, or your grandchildren like that? Can you still remain faithful till the end? Can you look at your grandchildren or your children and you look them in the eye and you say to your granddaughter, is it granddaughter or grandson?
Daughter,
What's her name?
Piper.
Piper,
Flutist.
come here please. Come here please. You look at Piper in her eye and you tell Piper, Piper,
Piper.
just a minute.
Just a minute.
Just a minute. You will see Jesus.
Oh. Yeah.
And Piper will speak to you. Grandma, don't deny Jesus. Just 1 minute. You too will meet Jesus.
Yes. Yes.
This is not imaginary, This is real. What I just enacted is going to become a reality not too far from now. So we should be prepared. You should prepare yourselves. You should prepare your children. You should prepare your grandchildren for what's coming ahead. Because it's written very clearly in the scriptures. Those who refuse to take the mark of the beast, they'll be beheaded. That is why 8 years ago, the Lord Jesus told me, raise up an army of martyrs and prepare them. Prepare the little children. So we have a program on Angel TV called Warriors, where I have a group of about a few 8-year-old children, and I teach them about the lives of martyrs. We train them, make them bold and strong, that death is just a fleeting moment. Just a fleeting moment. The very next moment, they will be in the hands of the Lord Jesus Christ. But if you deny now, then you lose them forever. You lose forever. And Piper will be in heaven, you may not be there if you deny. Right? It's just a fleeting moment. You endure the pain for a fleeting moment. And I tell you, parents and grandparents, the very words that Simeon told Mary, a sword will pierce your heart or pierce your soul. We should be prepared like that. Prepare. Prepare your heart, prepare your mind, prepare your families for what's coming.
One day, Jesus is coming. You may be at church. You may be at work. You may be asleep. God grant that you will be ready when he makes his personal appearance. My God, what if his appearance occurs